Whoa! It's Wulzy. Welcome back to another Wulzy Wednesday. This is the series where you get a new project every single Wednesday from me. Now, you may have seen recently, Colon made a video about how 2-star levels like this are going extinct. So I'm gonna try and bring them back. Starting a new level today using a lap song called Coolocrian. It's pretty funky. This is the longest edited video I've ever made, so please leave a like and subscribe because this took forever. We're actually almost at 200,000 subscribers. Now, obviously, we can't do anything too insane to actually get a 2-star level because we'll just get nerfed into a 4-star level, and that's obviously not what we want here. We'll make a free mode ball section here. We can even zoom the camera out at the very beginning of the level to something like a 0.8. 0 seconds on that. Put a bed of pads instead. I feel like that syncs a bit better. We can make bumpy gameplay that kind of throws you around by making a top section of these lines group number 2, the bottom section number 3, and create a waving effect. Let's start off with the top. Ease in out for a nice smooth movement, 1.5 seconds, and we can move this up 30, and then right before it ends, we can move it down 30, and we can loop this just like this. So this object on the top is going to go up and down. That's kind of slow, but maybe it's a good thing that it's slow. We can add triggers to this. We can make these group number 3, but the bottom ones should move down first and up last, just like this. Now allow me to extend these blocks outwards. You'll see as we go through, we now have like a shrinking section right here, which could be pretty cool. I was thinking we could maybe go a bit faster. I'm probably going to put giant orbs in here anyway, just because, wait, we're a ball. We don't need these. I think we can just go with something smooth like this for the intro. That's probably too many clicks. We can't have 2 clicks in a row. No way. What we can do is place big jump pads on the ends of these blocks like this. Let's just give these a group number 3. And then we can put giant arrows to show that you're supposed to be there by the end. And that can make some interesting gameplay, probably. We can put a giant orb here with scale up to like 1.75. Okay, you ready? We gotta put jump indicators here, or we gotta make it very obvious that we're supposed to be down here. Yeah! Honestly, I don't believe it can be that hard to get a rated 2-star, right? The gameplay doesn't have to be like super babied. It can be pretty easy and signposted like this. Like, come on, you're not gonna mess that up, right? I can actually end these lines sooner. Put a big saw over here. These are just templates. I'm not actually gonna keep these in the level. It's just to show, for now, where the gameplay is gonna go. I mean, I guess what I should do is make it so you stay up there. Maybe this is more time consuming than I thought. Because it's one thing making the gameplay work, but you also have to make sure that they don't just go somewhere where the gameplay is just gonna be terrible. Like where you could get stuck. Because if you flip gravity down here, then you'd just be like, oh, there's a saw. Okay, the song actually changes right here. We don't need to keep this corridor up for that long. We just do another jump pad like right here. This should be good. I think this is pretty fair. I like that. Okay. I could just make big sections that you fly into, I guess. If I just have these lines that go inwards, yeah. If I time these right, surely they're gonna open up. Yeah, this is good. Okay, I just need to make sure that every object I place is gonna be open by the time it's there. Then we have like a really simple gap to fly in. We could put spikes. I don't know. Maybe we could put fake spikes. If you touch the fake spikes, you get a coin. Or you don't get a coin. If you avoid the fake spikes, you would get a coin. My bad, dude. Jeez. Let's just test out a few spikes here. Making sure they have the groups of the moving lines, of course. Here we go. Let's see. No, terribly timed, dude. Oh my gosh. What I'm trying to do is stabilize the player before they go in. Yeah, I mean, that could work pretty well. I should probably put a block on either side of this, because look how bumpy that line was. And I'm gonna change the gravity. This is a super open section, though. There's no way anyone dies here. Am I underestimating 2 stars? I probably am a little bit, but come on. Surely the gap here is not that bad where changing gravity is an issue. All you have to do is just keep clicking for a little bit, and then you get a little bit of stabilization again. And there's probably people in the comments telling me this is a 3-star. How is this a 3-star? There's no way, dude. Look at this. Simple. Ugh! Okay, maybe we should retime that. Oh, there's a new melody here. We can change again. Let's go with a cube. We haven't done a cube yet, right? Let's put a mini cube. We're gonna launch from a purple pad, and all we're gonna have to do is hold up this corridor. It's gonna be simple, like this. Oh, that's not actually that simple. Hold on. I was hoping that would sync better. This syncs pretty well with the 2 pads. We can probably put a couple of gravity changes here. I mean, are they gonna understand what's going on here if I I feel like I'm pushing it a little bit. I feel like I'm getting a bit too comfortable. Maybe the whole pad thing has to go anyway. Like, this is well synced. I would use this in a level, but not a 2-star level, I think. I have to scrap this idea, dude. I think Minikube is overall a bad idea because if I put a block up here, for example, it's not really gonna work. It just doesn't look that much like a jump as opposed to something like this where we're going to a clear, different platform, right? Like, this just looks like way more of a jump. Oh, this is difficult. I'm gonna have to think about this. For this cube section, I want to have an overlay with stuff coming up at the bottom of the screen. So what I've done is I've placed a star object that's locked in front of me just to make the camera height with the static camera at the same level on the Y only. So there's this whole transition right here where this star is going to be locked to my position. You can put it right here, I guess. Just pretend this is the open world ship section. We go through and you barely even notice the camera go static there. Why does that star pause just sometimes break? That's so weird. You see the camera very, very slightly rise through this section, which is cool. This is a fun idea, but I don't know how well that's going to translate into a sight-readable 2-star. If I put a block here that's going to move up and down, we just lock this block that's going to keep moving up and down 30 and minus 30. We just lock that to the x-axis and just lock it here. Ooh, how do we make it stick? There's an option here, right? Scale stick, extra sticky Y? Extra stick. Oh my goodness, I can't read. Extra sticky. Now I shouldn't fall off. Okay, yeah. We just shoot it up in the air like so, and then maybe put a bit of gameplay up here. Like I'm picturing some kind of machine that is compacting orbs. So we hit an orb right here, and then it changes into another gravity. This should be fun. If we just click that, maybe we should make it a lot bigger. Then let's stop this trigger at this point where the stop trigger is. So let's just put group number 8 in here. Does that stop it in a good place? Question mark. Need to actually pause to see that. It does. Okay, cool. So you hit this orb that's going to be very, very indicated. It's also going to have a little block here that stops you from dying when you hit your head. Literally just going to copy paste this exact framework over to the other side and use build helper, which is going to put it on a brand new group. You can see these are now group number 9. We'll just make it go down first. We can go like minus 40 each time and then move up 50 just so it goes up a little bit. Let's see if this works going through. Very simple gameplay, and we could just put an orb here. We'll make a more creative sequence for this. Then we can put an open UFO section. I always press edit special whenever I place down a portal. I don't know why. And I feel like we can jump into a pod here that's going to have a similar movement. So let's make all of these extra sticky. Copy these triggers and just give them a new group, which is going to be number 11. Making sure we lock this as well. It's slightly out of sync, and we can maybe go up a bit. Yeah. We got this. Move up more, then it goes down. Oh, we're off screen. What? Maybe we just do 2 movements overall. I don't know. We can put a cube portal right here that's maybe going to be a bit longer in its length here. So we can exit this UFO portal and have something to do here. Do another... Oh, that's a lot of portals. Never mind. We don't want to confuse them that much. You see thing, you click, right? I was going to make this movement slightly longer in its length. Give the trigger a group and just stop it at the right time because it's just easier, man. Boom. There was a slight gap there before. I want to make sure that's gone. Okay, we're kind of cooking right now. I feel like this gameplay is genuinely 2-star worthy. I'm actually kind of scared, so I've added a few more purple pads like this one right here. It's just cringe, but you know, it has to be done. Let's take another copy, build helper, move the stop trigger much more close to this object. This is great placement. You can literally just fall onto this block. I'm gonna put a big pad here just so we can get away with putting less inputs and more distance here. Let's just do another build helper. We'll make this go down less this time. I'm trying out different methods to die leaving this section. This is one of them. Oh, this is so stupid, but I'm gonna do it. This is the worst fix that could possibly be. I'll just put particles over it or something. Let's just put a huge force down. Please work. I would love this. It looks like it just shoves you down and it doesn't kill you, even if you're really low already. So jumping out should... I could probably make this a little bit stronger, but yeah. Again, gotta make sure that if you don't do anything, you still survive. And we can probably just ride a platform down to the next section. Gonna have to go with a space theme in order to pull this off, because I think that's the only way this is ever gonna make any sense to a player. Let's just go down like minus 120 over 5 seconds or so. Extra sticky on the blocks. I forgot to unstatic the camera. Awesome. Okay, free fly and smooth camera once again. We're gonna put an object right here that the static is going to change to as we go through the section. So let me just place that down, put 18 in the target, ease in out, and then go with like a 1.5 duration, something like this. Hoping that we just target it and then exit the static as we actually get there. I don't know if this is going to work. Looks horrible. Awesome. Y only should work. This is like my piece de resistance for camera work. I don't actually know. That's better. And then we just have to somehow exit the static. Maybe we can make this pretty short on like a 0.3. Exit static. Okay, awesome. We're free again. So, this star should have always been hidden, by the way. I don't know why it's not. And this one over here. Let's just hide you too. So we're gonna have this section. We need to toggle that platform as well. So let me just put a toggle for number 17, I think this was. We'll fix it with like an effect or something. We have this ship section. Now, we're going to scale up a big circle. Oh my goodness. We have to make sure it's the actual... It's so grainy. It is so grainy. How can I make it not? This, maybe? Because Rob made the glow, like, super smooth. Okay, cool. This is going to be group number 19, and it's going to lock to the x-axis as we go into the ship section forever, pretty much. Can I put -1 in this? I hope that works. I can. Okay, cool. That's really far away. We're going to want to move it a little bit closer than that. Cool. So, we're going to have an object there, and then a bigger one around the outside, so that we're kind of in a chamber here, which is pretty cool, right? It's a little bit grainy still, but it should be fine. I have to make some edges here using slope. So let's give that group 19 as well, just to give us a place to rest and stand on that kind of makes this more of a convincing container for the player. I've never really made anything like this before, so we're gonna hide that, of course. So now when we land, we're bouncing? What? You know what? Honestly, that will do. We're just gonna have a giant circle that we're flying around like this. Now let's make coins that are gonna be going up like half a block per placement here. Don't know if this is going to work. We're gonna have to manually rotate all of these being back to normal orientation because these are upside down at the moment. Can I please free move these? Keep rotating around. Oh my gosh, this is bad. A level's 43 seconds long. What I want to do is have a section where you have to collect all the coins and the level will end. This low-key should be fine, not even to rotate these objects. Can I speed them up because their rotation is so slow? Oh boy. Can I not change that at all? Set this to color channel 100, which is going to be light yellow, and the detail on white here. Yeah. So we have these coins. We need to make them lock. It's like step number 1. Step number 2, we should have done this earlier, but I'm going to go through and select all of these from the inside and group them. So this is 20. Then we're going to go the next closest. Oh my gosh, it's going to take forever. Why didn't I just do this before I copy pasted everything? I'm really glad I didn't rotate these the actual way because each layer of this is going to rotate like this. And as you can see, even when I rotate it super far, these are now the vertical orientation at the top. So it makes sense. The perspective is going to make sense by the end of this. Okay, we have them all done. Starting with 20 and ending on 27. So we can start this rotation early. We need a center. This can be the center. Awesome. This is 28. And we have to make it... Oh my gosh. How do I make them rotate? Okay. We have a dilemma because if the level is infinite, how am I going to make... I can loop them. Hold on. Let's start with the ones on the inside being 5 seconds to go 1 rotation. Can I just click create loop from here? Does that recognize the delay that it needs? No. Okay. Maybe we can do a more creative loop here where it starts off with 20. Then it goes to 21 with a slightly longer move time, and then goes out to 3 seconds, going all the way up to 5.5, and then we can loop them from here. Oh my gosh, this is hideous, bro. This is awful. Why do they rotate so fast? What? Okay, maybe we just make the loop like this so that when this is done... How does this work? Okay, there should be another wave of these going round. I mean, yeah, it's okay. It just takes a little while, and you can't actually get the ones on the inside, which is really awkward. You can get all the other ones pretty easily, I'd say. Let's just get rid of the inside then. Why not? And we can hope just by scaling these down ever so slightly that they now go in the center of the circles. I guess this is fine. It looks okay, I guess. It's not the greatest. You can't... Come on! There's like a very specific angle. I gotta scale them up then. Or do we put the middle back? Hold on. Do we make a scale loop starting with 20 around the center 28, which is gonna be very slow here. Let's say a 2-second slight increase in scale overall. Every 2 blocks we can increase the number here. So they're gonna go up. I didn't scale them going back down. Oh my gosh, dude. Not a single brain cell in this video. What is going on? There were a few coins earlier that ended up getting stuck outside the zone. Look at that. You see? Tricky. Okay, we're gonna have to go to 1.5 on the scale. This is embarrassing. Here we go. Get it, get it. Yes. and then go out. Can you get the ones on the edge very easily? No. Look at this is unbearable. It takes forever to get the coins. The ones in the middle barely even move. Come on. Delete the scaling loop. I just figured out something else. We can shimmy it side to side. So let's get group number 19. Let's just shimmy you from side to side. Why not? And now the center is touching us. That's really weird. So let's reduce the amount of time that it takes overall. We can go like a 5.3, then a 5.1. Then after that will be a 4.9. Yeah, so things are rotating more. Let's get more dead spots like that. It's so weird. I mean, it lets you actually stop and get them, which is kind of cool. Wait, this is actually probably going to work? Question mark? As soon as it comes to me trying to make anything that I don't normally make, I just fumble really badly. Look at this. And then most of the time that you're in this, you're not in the center, which is where you collect the coins. So this is a flawed setup now. Stay calm. 40. Then we're going to make this 5 seconds. We're actually going to remake this entire spawn loop based on 5 seconds and then plus 40 minus 40, I think. Let's align these to be in time and then loop and hope that it works. Let's try to make this feel a bit more natural. Come on. Further, 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 further. How long until I make them just projectiles that just target me? Like if I just put all these coins and make them group number 34. Follow the player. Yeah, that's right. Group ID 34, preset, homing missile. I need to make it so you can get the middle ones. I completely forgot to do that still. I need to move it further, like closer to me. This is not great. Oh my gosh. I kind of don't like that. I'm going to delete that because it's just stupid. It's entirely possible as long as I just make sure that you can get the middle ones anytime. Go, 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 go. Yes. And to make it even easier, we make it scaling loop as we did, but we don't put a center just so the coins on that layer get huge. We can literally just multiply it by 2 here. Maybe give it a bit longer than 1 second. And then we just separate them by like 5 blocks per trigger here. Okay. Let's just set them to a negative right after. Make them group 35. And we're going to do the spawn order thing again because I actually feel like doing it. And I've realized it's a lot easier than I was giving it credit for. Okay. Don't go that small. What? Why? Dude, I can't do this. Oh. Oh. That's not how you divide, Wulzy. That's not how you divide. Okay, go small. Nice. Go big. Go big. I didn't spawn order the first trigger. No way, it didn't do it. It did do it. Okay. It's a little bit delayed, but it's got the spirit. Yeah, this is actually a good rate. Awesome. Wait, I didn't even make it so the level ends if you get them all. How do I do that? I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay, so we select all of the coins. There's 128 of them in the object. Okay, so we're gonna go to edit special. We're gonna make it a pickup item, and it's gonna have an item ID. I think of just number 1. And then I don't know where the count trigger is. Play the thinking music. I found it. Turn off the thinking music. Okay, count trigger. Let's just put it somewhere in the level. Don't think it really matters where it is. So item ID number 1. Then we're going to look at the next free group, which is 36. Okay. We're going to activate that group. And there's 128 of these coins. So let's just make that 128. So that was to activate 36, which is going to be an end wall right here, which is going to be spawn triggered. And I think I just give this a group 36, the same one that's in this trigger. Well, the level just ended. How do I make it not do that? Have I... Oh, no. Oh, no. So I'm gonna have to force an ending here. What? Oh, no. Can I just teleport back every so often? Oh, my gosh, Bo. Making a loop right now that's just gonna spawn this over and over again. But we need a delay of like 5 seconds. I'm gonna try and just add a teleporter. Is that gonna mess up the gameplay at all? It doesn't even look like it teleported me. Probably because I didn't even finish the process here. This has to teleport me to group 37, which is gonna be... Can I make it a... Yeah, ignore Y here. So no matter what height I am, it's going to make me go back to a spot. I'm going to say over here, make that 37 and also give it the moving group. It's like, oh gosh. Oh gosh. My head is gone, bro. Okay, this works. It's teleporting me back. Do it again. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it does work. And I only got as far as this. Yeah, I'm just drawing green lines over and over again. So we're just going to put an object that's a little bit further away. We should be able to just hide a spike here, just off the screen. So that we're going through and we're going to get teleported back and never hit that end wall. I really hope. Does it mess with the gameplay? No, it doesn't. So now the level should end when I get all the coins, and that's gonna take me forever. Because look, there's a coin on the other side of that circle. I can't even time it right. How am I ever gonna get that coin? It's gonna take me like another minute of trying. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No! Oh, this is the one. This is the one. 100%. Yeah, okay. There's another one that I can't actually get at the moment. This is really awkward. I'm getting bullied. How do I make it better? I can turn off the effect of that teleport, I think. Oh, there's a line that appears on screen, but I think I can just select the trigger, go into the editor, and turn off all effects. Oh my goodness! It worked, but then it brought me back to a random spot. Okay, so when that happens, I'm just gonna have to toggle off the whole level. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. We really got to fix the rotations on this thing. It's so broken as it is that the middle just takes forever to get. Like, look, it's just staying still. It's so frustrating. Let's get rid of the rotation triggers that we set up. Starting with 20, rotating around 28. You can just make a very short rotation of like 10 degrees. Just copy paste vertically for each layer, going from 20 to 27. Let's put a spawn trigger here, and then we could just very gradually rotate this thing. Actually, we should probably do it a lot more. Give the rotation triggers, spawn triggered, multi-triggered, give them a group 29. We're just going to spawn order them the same way as we have been doing, making sure that this trigger spawns itself like so. Okay. Oh, that's looking like a constant rotation. Oh, awesome. Wait, this is actually hype. All I had to do was rotate this a bit more sharply. That solved the problem of how do I get it to infinitely rotate while the level's going on forever. Because what I didn't want to do is have to put in like, oh, here goes 99999 seconds. You know what I mean? Okay, this is a good start. What's the middle layer? Let's see. This is number 20. Okay, so this is going to be faster. Let's start with the outside layer, which I want to be the slowest, and then increase the rotation by, I think, just 1 degree. Since this is getting repeated so much, I think it will actually make a big difference with 1 degree. This is 17 degrees now. This is repeating like every 10th of a second, maybe? Could be even faster. Yeah, the outside is going slow, the middle is going quick. Look, you can grab them all. Go, 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 go. Nice. See? This is a much more pleasant experience so far. Look how quickly I'm getting all the coins. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. Looks like we're done. I guess the ending sequence doesn't happen in the editor. That didn't take long. I think we leave that for now and move on. I'll move back in the level, I guess, because these movements need a little bit of regulation. Because what is this? I gotta figure out what I'm going for here. Okay, let's put this on a different layer and we can set up some orbs here. I'm just gonna scale this down to 1 times and make a big circle like this. Something's wrong here. Why is that not a... Oh, there's a corner missing. I just didn't select them all. Goofy. Put this group 39. Put an object in the center, which I'm going to make a star, as always. It's like my signature source when I make levels. Okay, here we go. Group 39 rotates around 40. Since we've had good luck with rotating in this video, let's just go with like a 8. Move time 2 times around in the circle like this. I mean... It's cool. There's not much indication to hit them. I think we can probably scale at this point. Every single orb just around itself doesn't need a center or anything. Let's just scale this up like 3 times per orb. So the orbs become very obvious to hit. Yeah. And then just start dividing them right after. Something like this that just emphasizes them a little bit. Yeah, that's good. We can definitely put some kind of indication there. Here we go with some particles. Do we want a lot of particles here? Maybe. I think we can increase the gravity on the Y, not the X, dude. Come on. Fade out. Make a little bit of a fade in here. Trying to give these particles some aura. The triangles don't work as arrows. I mean, these are obviously arrows, but they don't look right. I use to indicate these. Oh, maybe we put it inside the circle? I mean, that could be a nice detail there, but we need something that's going to force us to look at these orbs. Let's see here. Just set this up as a gray brick with like a light gray interior. We can just use color channels 2 and 3 for this. I'm going to create some very bold bricks here. Maybe some can be scaled up. Something like this that's going to be on the layer above. Darken the brace. Yeah, darken the brace and increase the brightness. This H block needs to be hidden, dude. I can't with this. And the scale trigger needs to move. This is the messiest level I will ever make, by the way. That looks okay, and then we can put arrows on top. Let's make this black blending. I missed the blending button there for a second. I'm trying to make this a layer at the very top of the level. It's going to light up as we go past, so it needs a group 41. We can put it right here as well. Just by doing an area tint, which is going to tint it to, I think, some new color. I'm going to say number 11 for now. I don't think we have anything on that just yet. Yeah, let's make this green. Full tint on the length of like 5 blocks for that group 41 as we're getting there. Let's see. The arrows did not light up. Awesome! Woohoo! Because I didn't center it on the player. I'm going to make it X-based as well, so only on the X position does it matter. I'll show you why, because if I keep it on the default setting, if I copy an arrow here and just put it up like this, you'll see that as I get close to it, this is the brightest, and then the ones up at the top aren't as bright. Whereas if I change the setting to only the X coordinate, it will light up the entire row at once. And because we aren't necessarily touching this brick over here, I can't find the arrow. There we go. We're going like over here, which is 2 blocks away, so it wouldn't go as bright. So now we should have a green arrow lighting up there. Okay. Now we gotta figure out what that little wiggle is for. Let's put this on editor layer number 2, and we're putting this on group number 7. You know what? I think we put these over here. It's a weird choice. Do we put it over there? I don't know. Let's keep it here for now. I'm trying to create a cool transition. We'll give these group 42. Then we can put the classic star object that's going to move with these blocks as well. But it's not going to have group 42. It's going to have group 43. We're going to scale the pillar up around that point. So let's get group number 42 in there, which is the pillar. 43 is the center. And if we scale up by like 15 times before we get there, you shouldn't be able to see you can't see the bricks. They're huge. Oh my gosh, bro. We're gonna have to put this like massive size. Hopefully this doesn't lag the level. What I'm planning is a transition where these scale into place by dividing around that point. Yeah, I mean it works, but it's just so fast. How do I even get it to not be fast though? It's so dumb. Back out would be funny because what back out does is you see how it goes tiny for a second there and then goes back to the big size. Bounce would be fun. That would match the energy of this song, I think. But timing this right is going to be difficult. Bouncing, I would want a long... I would want a long movement on that just so you can see it. I mean, it's cool. It's going to be very confusing when these layers pass over each other, which is why I'm a little bit concerned. I think I can move this one out of the way. Let's just grab our 44 here and move that off screen by like 120. I'm going to fail at making a 2-star because it's too weird, bro. I gotta lay it down very early that everything in this level is goofy, but it's going to be safe. As long as you press things at the right time. You know what I mean? I'm scared, bro. People are gonna judge me so hard for this level. Just let me cook, because by the ending, I'm sure I'll make it work. Let's do a similar transition for the next set of blocks here. Should be fine. People should see this coming this time. Gotta make sure that this is group number 9 instead of 7 overall, like this. Now this time, when I build helped, this one is the unique group 44, whereas this one is only 45. So I gotta move away 44 this time. Ba-boom. Boom. Wait, did I move 44 last time? I did. So that's going to be messed up this time. I caught that before it became bad. Let's get rid of that. And then let's give it group 47. 47 is going to be the one that moves away. Dude, I am confusing the heck out of my editor. I am so sorry. I barely know what I'm saying, let alone you as my editor. I moved away the wrong one. Are you kidding me, bro? Mom's gonna kill me. Do I just do the same thing with this as well? You know what? Let's do it. Why not? Ba-boom. And build helper. Get rid of this big orb. Now there should be 2 giant rotating orbs. This is so goofy. Oh my gosh. Bang. What? So because this is on the top, when it moves down, it's a problem. Get away. Where did I put the arrows? Oh boy, I put them on editor layer number 0, which is where all of my objects are. I hate that. I'm gonna make it so that these arrows rotate as we hit the orbs, just to add a light detail to the level. That's just gonna be like, oh hey, you hit them. They're gonna flip 180 degrees like this. It's gonna be barely noticeable because they flash up on the screen. But now when I go through, we have a giant bouncing overlay. We have the orbs. We gotta layer things better, but this is just like a little concept run through of the level right now. I think I did well. I don't know. Now I gotta do something about the boxes that fling you around in this UFO section. I don't know what's going on here. We could easily just take this structure and put it in here, but flipping all the bricks just so the lighting is the same on every single one of them, just like this. I mean, it looks decent. Let's grab the arrows, take the rotating group off of them, which is 50. Actually change the editor layer to number 3 this time. Gonna make these 2 point up and these 2 point down. So we go in and it's kind of like, whoa, we didn't add it to the group. Okay, cool. This might work. We just need to add a little bit of particle madness to it. Should be good other than that. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for it to stop or anything. I don't know how this is even gonna work. Let's take these rotating orbs again. I forgot the scale trigger this time when I copy pasted it. So where did I put this? Like 9 blocks away from the center of it. Okay. But hopefully that should scale these orbs up by the time we get there. Some of you are probably screaming at me to add that detail. But let's make sure we include it on this copy paste. And then we could do the same thing with portals. Let's not actually stretch the portal. I was being a bit ridiculous last time. I think I moved it 10 blocks away. Yeah, this should create like a little portal loop. I'm gonna make another layer that's on another rotation, but I don't want them to overlap. So I'm gonna scale them down. This is gonna be so confusing, bro. How am I gonna make this a 2-star? Why have I added these ideas to a 2-star? I was like, yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna use a lot of moving objects and do a lot of trickery. But how do I make this safe to play? This is gonna be ridiculous. Rob's gonna look at this for like 1 second and be like, yeah, why have you tried to do this? This is ridiculous. Just rotate once and it's gonna be so slow. Please work. This is gonna be so ridiculous. Oh my gosh, it looks terrible. How do I make that work? I have to change so much of the layering here to make this work. Because, look here, the bricks are going underneath the portals, which looks really gross. We have to make these T3. This should be fine because I layered these bricks over the top with Z order. That's -6. The one underneath is -7. We should do something about those arrows or just delete them because they look kind of weird when they're just constantly lit up. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, we have the structure and we have it going over the top of the portals. We'll do something more creative with that later. In fact, for every single looping object that's going around in a circle, all of the rotating objects here, we can probably set them all to a group that makes them fade on as we get there. And that's hopefully, well, I mean, it'll reduce the visibility, but if I make it clutch enough, hopefully it'll make it smoother as a visual experience so we can add more indications. So let's start the area fade for 55. That's going to make it so as we get there, it's going to fade to full opacity from a lower opacity. Like a length of 10 blocks around the player, like this. Let's see how smooth this is. That definitely works. The particle should stay the same, just as like an early indicator. I'm so nervous about this level. This is so weird. This is the weirdest level I've made by far. Just adding core concepts to gameplay is the scariest thing, considering I am making a 2-star. Look at this! It's ridiculous! Oh my gosh, bro. This is terrifying. Putting these blocks in for the next UFO section. Gotta make this group number 13. Again, Waff, I'm really sorry for how messy this video is gonna turn out. Feel free to include my apology in the video, just so people know I'm not, like, bullying you. You're actually a hero. Okay, this is 15. Make sure the blocks are hidden again. I'm kind of just filling in the details here. We should put a particle to indicate this. That's gonna be fun to make, so I'm actually gonna do it now. We can just use, like, thin glow particles wherever they are. These, yeah. Gravity Y, awesome. And then no variance on the X position. This looks cool already, to be honest. I feel like I did something similar in my previous 2.2 level. I mean, that's gonna work, but I don't want the particles to go under the block, so how do I cut them off, bro? Less gravity? I need to stop them going off at an angle as well. Yes! Yes, this is so much smoother. Oh my gosh. That's not how you make bricks, Wulzy. It's funny talking to myself in the third person. Wulzy. Like, what a name. Sure, we'll do that. Why not? Or do we make it the same color as the base object, like this, with the layer behind, and then get one of these, like, half space it down and paste the state? We can add some detail on top later, just to make this look like it's a jet stream pushing down. I wanted to make this a real 2-star with a lot of gameplay, but now it's not readable. I don't really see how this is gonna work. Like, I'm dying to it. Okay, it's time to make some actual ground myself. This is going to be number 3. We're going to make the ground at the beginning. That's going to move up and down. So these bricks are basically going to follow the line. And we'll just make the top side really easily, just giving this group number 2. Probably do a more interesting interior design. So let's just copy paste it like this in a box around the outside. These have to be above the saws, so we're going to have to layer them at least T2, meaning that all of the lines should also be above T2 if I want them to be shown. So we grab those. Put them T2 and probably just really far up the Z order, which leaves me T3 and T4 to decorate with extra stuff. Now we should have the bricks that move up and down and go above the saws, which is nice. We're going to choose the colors for this level. I think I'm going to actually make a background here. More fits. It's kind of a mechanical vibe. This one has a lot of color in it. It's very pixelated, so I kind of feel deterred from it. Unless I'm seeing any others, like this one. This one's good. Yeah, this one. Okay, let's make this gray. We can actually just use this button to open the slider. This is pretty good already. Then one thing I've seen people using recently is the gradient trigger with additive. And they use some kind of bright color and a black blending color, and then that makes the background look very, yeah, it looks really polished. I like that. Okay, let's just keep going with the design ideas that we had, with the lines being on high T2 and putting the bricks on the sides. Okay, we're done with that. Very simple. We're gonna add more glow to these outlines, but this is a great start. Everything is really neatly laid out. This section is gonna be impossible to make look good. Look at this thing. Oh gosh. I think we have to get rid of the bounce here. Select the 2 scale triggers that move these on and just put them on an ease out. Dude, I don't know what I was thinking. Let's see. Oh, it's late. I just don't want it to be scary. It just looks weird how it stops. Going with an ease in out this time, and I'm just trying to make it smooth so it stops well before we get there. I feel like that's kind of important for the sight readability. I gotta add some obstacles at the ends of these structures because for 2 stars, I feel like new players aren't gonna know that they need to jump there. That's a pretty big gap, but you know, we have giant, and I mean giant saw blades earlier. Let's select all the bricks in this level, give them a group 56. We're gonna set up a quick area tint for these at the very start. Let's make some color channels. We'll make 12 black and we'll make 13 white. The main details of these blocks are gonna go to black on full tint with like 10 blocks of length here. That was set to group 56, centered on the player. So as we get closer, these blocks are gonna go black instead of just the regular gray. I'll probably make that on a slightly shorter length just so it's more clear. So there's like a black spot wherever we land, yeah. Then we can make a detail only, which is going to go to 13. So the outlines are gonna go more to white as we're getting there, but I'm probably gonna make that length even shorter. Something like this. Yeah, this is cool. It's just a subtle detail for these bricks to have, right? I'm actually gonna make color channel 9 black and use it for some detail here between the saw blades. I got this object from the animated objects tab. Trying to use it to create some links between these saw blades, but it's pretty difficult to use because it's kind of freaking out my warp tab here, as you can see. I'm gonna copy paste it and flip it the other way, so there's kind of a double connection here. I feel like a lot of my detail is just gonna be guidelines, similarly to how we put arrows on the tops of these blocks that flash over. Now I'm testing some gray blending detail underneath these saw blades, just the big ones, I think. Just trying to add to them a little bit and show them a bit more. So I'm hoping if I give them a bigger looking hitbox, then they'll be more easily avoidable. I think this is good. I like these details so far. It fits. Okay, there's a lot of space in the ship section, and I kind of want to encourage you to fly up and down at the times where you need to, or stay straight like right here. So I'm going to copy some of these links. I'll probably add extra details to the insides of these saw blades. I can probably put some right here as well, just to fill the space a bit more. If I place them like here, I should be able to put a particle layer over the top that has just a single particle at a time, or maybe 2. That's quite slow. I just want to pop up an arrow or 2 every now and then. Just widen those. Yeah, something like this. But I think there should be more gravity just to push inwards. Yeah, but these should now go further down. Okay, I tweaked these a little bit to have a fade time, and now they're gonna sit here. I think this is good. I'm gonna make these saw blades more angular as well, just to help with the curve of the flight. This looks good to me. We're just adding like essential details before I go all in with the decoration, because making 2-star levels readable is a massive priority. And I think making them intuitively readable instead of just randomly bumping people into place is pretty important. Though I will say, I am going to add some option triggers that are going to disable the player input at this point until we get close to these objects that are spinning that we need to touch. I also have to put H blocks inside these big corridors, for example, right here on group number 7. I'm going to hide this because as we go through, the last thing we want to do is have a jump possible here, right? Oh, wait. Hold on. This is disable player 1 controls, so we want it on at first. That's poor for me. There we go, this should be better. Boom, nice. I think I'm gonna make an invisible toggle orb right here that's gonna be absolutely huge. That thing has way too large of a hitbox. Oh my gosh. This should do. I want to make it so that if you click just one time at all, even if you double click, there's going to be a portal right here that's going to be activated. It's going to be invisible. It's also going to be toggled at first. This is going to be hidden as well, obviously, because it's a giant toggle orb. I have a feeling there's going to be a few players that are clicking here that don't know that you're not supposed to spam. So just saving them anyway should help. So if you click twice here, you survive. And if you don't click at all, you die. Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm going to save myself some time and copy paste this and do build helper over here. Except this has to be a regular gravity portal and an upside down one. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2. We survive. Okay, next. Let's go. 1, 2. We survived. Awesome. The reason it takes a while to fall, by the way, is because this block is still here. And clicking here, because of the toggle orb, would make you survive, even if you miss the orb. So you've got a really big window to hit them. Really going all in on making this 2-star, bro. Look, I'm spamming, and you survive. It's crazy. Let's make sure at this point that the inputs are just disabled again. Because what I don't want to happen is the player to jump right here. I had to spam for that to happen, but maybe at this point, like here. So no matter how hard I spam, we should be good here. Let's re-enable the controls here. We're gonna make that more clear, but definitely at this point, they should be disabled again. Just to make sure you don't miss this blue pad. We're gonna re-enable the controls at this point, but we're gonna put the big H block inside the structure again, making it group 9 and hiding it. Okay, we want to make sure sure we hit this purple pad. So we're going to disable the controls again, and then the controls go back on for the UFO. That should be enough. Let's stop mashing right now. Okay, we survived. Okay, and I failed the jump. We should just be able to spam here no matter what and survive. Yeah. Okay, at least there's input required. You know, this is actually an outrageous screenshot for a 2-star. Like, what is that? What is that? Oh my gosh. We have our work cut out first, don't we? I think we're gonna play into the whole brick thing here. Make these pretty big to make them a little bit more optimized. We can make them black and white, or maybe just black and gray, just so when I put them in the back, they're gonna stand out against everything. Yeah, nothing's gonna get mixed up. But now I'm considering just making these skinnier, like so. Can I do that? I don't know if that's gonna look weird. This looks good to me. If I give this a group 59, we can lock it to the camera just on the y-axis for this. Now I'm just setting up an area movement that's slightly moved over to the right, so the transition is early, just so we can move 2 layers of these bricks that I've set across the screen. The top layer being group 61, the bottom layer being group 60. 60 moves positive 10, and 61 moves -10. And this is set to get there before I reach the point on the x-axis, moving it quicker towards the player on a -x here. I kind of like it. I don't know. It's a bit wavy. I was going to try a bounce, but it looks weird on the area move. I'll show you how it looks. Hold on. So I had that on a sign out because it just looked smooth, but this just looks weird. I don't know. I'm going to throw these blocks to the left by 80 blocks over the course of this part. So I'm just going to extend these a little bit more to the right. So what's going to happen is these are going to kind of accelerate as the part goes on, which looks pretty cool to me. Okay, now I'm thinking of adding some sort of mechanisms that are making these blocks kind of freak out. I'm gonna slowly rotate these objects just like this, just as a base. We're gonna put this on black. Okay, so we have this object. It doesn't look too bad. Gonna place some electricity that's just above this layer. Let's use the next free group. We're gonna put it on white for now, but we're gonna choose other colors for this level. That looks sick because I think the detail is gray. Yeah, put a little rotating circle. Okay, I don't like how there's no gap in the middle, so I'm gonna half space these up and around. Yeah, I like this so far. We could probably make it a little bit faster if we just use speed at number 2. We're gonna copy paste. We're gonna rotate it 45 degrees and make a slightly bigger layer. I think I'm gonna flip the colors for if it looks good. I mean, I like the variation there. I think it looks nice. Then I can put glow on top like so, which is going to be, I think, also white blending. But if we give it group 62 with an area fade, we can make this fade on a short length just as we approach this object, just so we kind of activate it like this. Oops, wrong way around. Whoops. Okay, flip it. Nice. Okay, we just change this thing to be B2. Copy paste the entire section and make a smaller version that's connected down here. Then we put the base layer B1 and we add the extra details on T1. We should be able to have a layer above. I put a circle a little bit bigger and set it to gray on that same layer. That actually looks very cool. Okay, nice development here. Okay, and then we just put another one up here on the layer at the bottom. Let's make them a little bit smaller. We can just connect these together. By the way, I'm storing this giant brick background above the level on group 59. For the level, we're gonna move it into the screen. When we play, it's gonna be in place, but in the editor, it's up here. I think it looks okay if we just branch with it well and put other electricity decoration. My idea for the background at this point is a space station, which is a vibe I can hopefully connect in other parts of the level using particles and stuff. I basically built some framework here and some windows that show the background behind using a low opacity blue blending color with some shiny objects overlaid on top. This was definitely subject to tweaks when I was building it, but it surprisingly came to fruition pretty easily. I added some light glow over the top of the level just to add lighting to this part. I think it worked out pretty well. Okay, we're gonna set this to group 63, and then I've made a glow overlay that I'm gonna put on 64. Both of these layers are not gonna fade at all. I think as we're approaching this section, this background's gonna start moving. Now I'm just slowly moving that layer in the background using this move trigger that's on a player mod of 0.1. Then we have a second move trigger that's on a -0.8, and that is for the glow that's on top, which is barely noticeable, but I think it still looks decent. It gives it a bit of shading. Also, I decided that all of these movements for the structures are gonna be way more smooth than that 0.5 I was giving them, because that's kind of hideous. Just make sure this transition still works. It does. Yeah, it's better. I don't know how to make them stop more smoothly, but hey. To replace a few of these stretched windows, just scaling up what I have is a bit patchy. I wonder if I can just add little bright spots to this. People have been asking me to make an art level, so I thought I'd take this in a more artsy direction, considering I have no other ideas. That actually looks surprisingly good. I don't know. I'm gonna brighten this up a lot on the sides, though. Ooh, how much is too much, though? I think this is good. I want to put another background background behind this, so I just want like a big screen sometimes that you can see the whole thing through. We can just move this thing off on group 63 over to the left-hand side by like 40 blocks with a couple of seconds ease in. So it can smoothly just start moving away. That is the least smooth thing I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. Let's try this in normal mode. This looks really smooth. The glow on the foreground definitely helps a lot to shade it. I'm excited to put more behind this layer, but I think this is a good middle ground that's really tying the level together at the moment. And that moves off really smoothly. Like once there's an actual background here, this will look fine. Now I'm going to focus on making a space background to fit in with the space station idea. I'm going to need something like this, except I'm probably going to desaturate the color a little bit and make it darker. Then I've got a piece of glow on 10 times scale that's going to go on the layer above, and I've added a little bit of a brightness decrease. This thing can probably go a bit taller, to be honest. Something like this will work, yeah. Just flip it to the other side as well. So now everything's blue behind this screen, which is interesting. We need to lock it and stuff, but start making some glow that's going to sit above it. We got to hue it in different ways. I think I want it to go on the blue-green scale rather than the pink-purple. Okay, so we have this glow, and then we should just be able to copy, paste, rotate it, scale it differently, go on the next layer up, and then change the hue on these objects. Except it's a little bit too bright at this point. This thing looks decent so far. Then I can put particles. You can see the test has worked right there. These are going to use the object color of that blue to make very slow moving stars. Maybe scaling down in their lifetime and then fading off with a long fade time. Yes, something like this. Okay, this works, and we can make one for each layer, and then we should have more saturated blues by the end of this. This honestly can lock to the x-axis forever. Okay, so the particles look pretty decent in the background. They're just sitting behind the glass most of the time. They're pretty obvious when they're on the screen as a whole. But for this last section, this background is going to be very important to be visible. So we got to get rid of this giant circle because it's way too opaque. If I group each layer real quick, so we have 67, and then we have 68, and we have the funny number for this layer right here. Guessing we can do a pulsing loop starting with 67 with short fade times-ish. Doesn't really have to be that sharp, but try to make it kind of smooth. We can increase the saturation and the brightness for each layer one at a time, and also scale them up and down, which should be pretty fun. Not by much, just like 1.5 at a time. These are obviously going to scale down after this, of course. I know I cranked the brightness, but I didn't think it would have that much of an effect. It actually looks pretty good. I like it. Let's see how this thing looks as a background here. I prefer this. This is good. It's now time to tweak the ending. Oh my goodness. We have to change the colors and everything. We can make this a low opacity blue, which is going to have a group 71. We're going to change the edit layer to like 15. I'm going to make several layers of this. So let me just link these objects, go to the next layer, and just start going ham. Copy pasting and increasing the group over and over again, because I want to have a bunch of these, of course. I think 10 layers should be good, and then we can do a little rippling effect with the layers of the circle. First off, we got to group everything like this. Even the coins are going to have this group 81, which is originally going to be put all the way over on the right hand side by like 300 blocks, 0 seconds, and it's going to shift onto the screen at the point of the ship portal in like 3 seconds. I think a signing out should be good, and we can just move it into place. Similarly, we are going to scale this. It's going to multiply by 100 at this point. We're also going to scale it on, so that's a multiplication of 100. Initially, we're going to just divide this by 100. I'm hoping this transition is going to be smooth, where the circle moves onto the screen and it kind of appears like this. That's pretty neat. I think the scale on should be much slower, just to like dramatize it a little bit. Is that a word? I think it is. And we're also going to make that layered scaling effect that we were talking about. So we're just going to have a loop way off at the very beginning before this ever even gets shown. Let's just put it all the way over here. So 71 is going to start. We're going to divide that layer by 1.2 on the X and the Y, one by one. We'll see how the duration lines turn out once we get to 80. It looks like we're going to have to decrease this time a little bit to like a 0.75, just so as soon as these are all done, we can start scaling them back up. I think I missed the divide button on the first set of triggers. That's kind of awkward. Hold on a second. I did. So divide, then multiply. I'm finally getting used to spawn ordering things. It was quite difficult to get my head around at first, to be honest. But as soon as I realized it only takes 2 triggers to do, and it's that simple, I really warmed up to it. Let's see this effect now on the circle edge. You see how there's multiple layers here and it kind of blurs and it goes in and out? You can see it most clearly on the center circle. I really like that. By the way, I'm going to pick one of these center circles, which is going to be group 83, and we're going to static the camera to it over like 5 seconds. So it's a really smooth intro just to lock onto this object. And we're going to do a slow zoom out as well to like a 0.75 overall, which is going to take like 12 seconds, something crazy. Let's just see how this transition works now with the circles that are going to move on. The static takes forever. We kind of just pause here awkwardly. I don't like that at all. Oh, that was so cringe. For some reason, the movements have stopped. Like, all the rotations just don't work anymore. The reason for that is that the center circle had the center group, which has been put on all of these rotation triggers, but now since I copy-pasted it, there's more than one center, which is causing it not to work. So I have to put in that group 83. So it turns out that this static trigger that didn't work very well was actually useful in the end. If I check out this transition now, it should be much cleaner with the scale and everything. This looks good. It just doesn't show the outer boundary that quick, so maybe the initial scale up can be a little bit quicker for that. I want to add an effect on the coins now. In the center circle, I'm going to place a star object in the middle, which is going to have a new group 84. It's going to have the moving group number 19, and I think that should be it, because 19 is the one also moving side to side, which is cool. This is going to be hidden, and we're going to rotate that star object, which is 84, around the center, 83. We could just make this 1,000 seconds and make it rotate like 50 times. I don't see this star object, unfortunately. The reason being is that I forgot to add it to the collective movement of 81. It didn't move on with the rest of the objects here. So let's see if I can see it again. There it is. It's very slowly rotating there. Okay, we need to make that much quicker. I'm honestly just going to put 1,000. So this thing is going to rotate once per second all the way around in a circle like this. And this is going to be a pretty cool effect once I get it set up. All of these coins are group number 34. So I'm going to set up an area tint for that same group number 34 here, which is going to light up wherever the center object, which is the star, is. I'm going to set up a new color channel, number 13, which is going to be a light blue. We're going to make it tint to that on full tint with like 6 blocks of range. We'll see if this works. We should be tinting all of the yellow coins blue as it goes past. It doesn't quite have the same effect I was hoping for. Instead, I could just choose a black color channel and then inversely tint this. So everywhere the star is not at is just black. But that's really strange to me. My final idea is to double the length and then change this back to 13. So there's going to be a select few of the coins that go yellow like this. So they're mostly blue, but they go yellow, which makes them a green tint most of the time. I don't mind that. We could also put this on an area fade, but I'm kind of scared that at this point, say if the star is on the other side to these coins, you're just never going to know that they're upcoming. But it would be cool to make them fade in as the star is approaching. Nonetheless, I think what we have is fine here. Just for a bit of progression in this ending, I'm going to zoom it out to 0.6 and select all of the outer circle layers and warp them up to another size that's going to be a bit bigger. Giving them a new group 85, just so we have a few outer layers that are going to fade on. Because right here in this song, we can just fade on 85 on like a 2 something fade time. We'll make it invisible beforehand. Didn't work. Is it because we never make it there and we just keep teleporting back? If I set this to be spawn triggered right here on group number 86, hopefully we can just set up a delayed group spawn here. That's going to be like 7.5 seconds right now, hopefully. Spawn in. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so there's a bit more of a change here. This looks cool. I like this a lot, actually. Grab those coins and we'll see what happens with the ending. Because we got to make this ending transition a little bit more smooth. Because we're ending where this trigger is placed. I'm wondering if I can give this a group 87, which is going to follow the player, which I'm hoping is just going to follow the player. Let's just make the player the target of 87. I really don't think you can move a trigger on the X and Y axis, but we'll see. We'll find out. We should end on me. That works. We can just do a more grandiose exit. 36 is the trigger that I originally placed on this end trigger. So if I place a scale effect for the entire moving group, number 19, that's going to make it go 100 in scale. What I'm hoping is that if we spawn it with that same group, number 36, is that we can make an ending. We should also be able to place an edit song trigger with that same group that's going to be spawn triggered that fades the volume down to 0. We could do a wind sound effect as well. I don't know. We can use air hit 03. Let's go with that. Oh yeah, we want reverb. We want super loud volume. Let's see the new effect. Oh my god. That's quality. We gotta make this scale much longer. What? I didn't spawn trigger it. Here we go. Last coin. Boom. That actually works super well. Yo, all I have to do is put an end screen, and then maybe I can just put no effects on this teleport effect. I don't know if this is gonna work. It does. You can barely notice it unless you know it's there, like right there. You see? Let's test this again. Okay, the sound effect is goofy. I think I preferred the fanfare that I chose. Okay, let's test it with a longer fade time and everything. Here we go. That's better. Okay, finally. And I want to do some tweaks with some shaders, because we haven't used any of those yet, on pulses with this thing. For example, we're going to fade it on, and then fade it off back down to 0 in 1 second. And you'll see how the colors look here. It's pretty cool. I've been using these a lot more lately because they're very useful when paired with pulses and stuff that are just generally increasing the brightness. We'll put this on a slightly longer fade in and out here just to see what it looks like for the colors. I like that. I think for this level, we're going to have very slow fades overall. I think it would be nice to have breathing effects every so often instead of actual pulses. We can even give this level more of a green tint on some of these fades like this. But not that bright, obviously. This is just an example here. Then I'm going to make very short fade times just for this ending. Yeah, because that gives this level this really weird desaturated blue look, especially when I decrease that tint a little bit on the blue as well. I'm actually going to make this a loop with different brightnesses of blue, so it goes a little bit more green and more blue. We can make this a really deep blue by turning the green up quite far but lowering the brightness. I'm just going to spread these out a little bit more with longer fade times between each. We're going to look at the level here as an example. I really like this switch to the deep blue. While this happens, we can put a radial blur. It's going to be like 0.25, ease in out. I'm going to fade that off very quickly before it even ends back down to a 0. If we increase all of the brightnesses to 0.2, we can basically just get a bright pulse for everything in the level. This should just loop forever. And now we have a cool little loop here that's not necessarily synced, but just kind of goes crazy with the colors. You can see it in the corridor here, what it does to the grays in the section. And with the background, I just love the way it looks, dude. This should look super unique going through now because I don't really see too many people editing the colors this way. I think this looks really nice so far. It's pretty tame in this section until we get to the spinning wheel. I love the blues and the greens though. That's my favorite part easily. Going through here should be insane. Oh, it affects the icon. I didn't think about that in the slightest. Okay, interesting. I mean, what's the highest layer involved? B1? Oh, that's free. That's light work, dude. As long as the coins can all be below that. Yeah, that should be pretty simple. Just slap them on B2 and we should be good. We could just put a shader trigger for the layers below the player. There we go. Now we are chilling. And this is cool. I'm just going to delete the color channel number 2 pulses here and just put them throughout the level instead. So let's just make a new one. If I just click HSV and then leave the color ID blank, it will just automatically take 2. So when I copy paste and change it to 3, that's going to copy itself. I don't have to go and change the color ID every time. It's just useful because I can just make a bunch of pulses in a line. What are the colors in the gradient again? Let's see. We have 3 and 10. 10 would be an interesting one to do, except we can put that at light blue instead, so the background kind of goes up. These are the main colors. What else do we have? We have 7, 8, and 6, but I don't think they've really used that much. So I'm just going to put them in at the top here with shorter fade times. 6, 7, and 8, just in between. And now all throughout the level, we have the color changes all in a row. I do like that blue gradient at the bottom. I think it's a welcome change. We could add other blue details here. What I am worried about is how this whole loop will affect the ones that I made later, but this looks good so far already. This might get a little bit bright now. We'll see. I think it's fine. It actually looks good this way. I was really worried about how the colors were going to change here, especially because we pulsed 6, 7, and 8, which are most of the colors in the space background. This part might be wacky, but the colors were already insane here. Yo, this part looks amazing now. Oh my gosh. I do want to turn off these little floating particles, by the way. What if we change this base area tint on the main, which is making the blocks go to black as I'm getting there, to tint to color channel 10, which is the one that's black blending but pulses to blue. That makes the bricks match the background better. By the way, I'm gonna extend this background a little bit to the right. Then we can put a 3-second ease in movement downwards for the bottom set, which is number 60, and then make a copy for 61 that's gonna go vertically up. So now this layer will just gradually move off by itself, which is cool. I still think we need to move this background in though. Just gonna move that space station layer over to the right initially and have that move in while those layers move off. I think that makes sense here. Just on an ease in out, you can give it like a 1.5 movement, so it's like half the speed. That way this background's gonna shift on. But this space background was still here, so we gotta move that as well, dude. Let's make that group number 90 instead, and we gotta give that to the space station layer. So let's just put number 90. I'm just trying to make this nice and slick here. So this new background should come on. You can see the space at the side, but it's okay. There we go. Nice. Let's copy the values and we can place down some regular blocks on the inside. Then we got to change the settings to be a base so that it interacts with the area tint the same way. It does work the same way. Nice. We have a 3x3 square. We're going to put some glow here that we're going to warp up to be the same side. And then we're going to put it on the layer above and make it black. And we can link that and then we can warp it down. Actually, probably just scale it so I can see the number go down to 2.0. We have a smaller brick, and then we can have a 1.0 as well. Just gonna copy this around like so, just in random places. I'm just copying this around with a bit of box meta. Let's just put this on the edges of a few blocks just to give it a bit of texture. Okay, apparently the top side have different groups. I forgot about that. We have a little bit more of a design now. I'm gonna be a little bit lazy, and I'm just gonna take shapes out of this design. We can put some pulsing details in here, like triangles that are just gonna be layered above on black blending. So as we go past, oh, it's not as easy as I thought, but it should be fine. Okay, I like this. This is getting somewhere, finally. Then I'm going to place a block with some glow on the tip, like so. Put it on black. Put it on the layer below all of this. T1. Yeah, you see it's going under. We just warp to fit. It needs the moving group, and it needs a new group for low opacity, number 91. So it's somewhat transparent. That's not enough. Okay, we're going to put this at like 45, 55 maybe? That should be fine. We can just copy paste it underneath. Okay, then we're gonna do an upside down version that's on the other moving group, number 2. Sorry for so much design work, but we should be done with this soon. There we go. So it's kind of shaded underneath. Oops, we missed a block on the left. Oopsie. All right, now we should be able to make some floating islands, taking off all of the groups and just creating new shapes. Taking that base color and putting them onto spikes. Should be fun, yeah. We can make a few arrangements of these. Maybe some that are flipped, and maybe just one with one spike and then a mini spike. Minier? Okay, I've been building for so long that I'm not even making sense anymore. We've got to make flips of them, but to keep the glow on the right side, we kind of just have to rejig them. Just to keep the perspective going here, we just have to make it ourselves. We can make very small structures just all around. Just putting these well out of the way so they don't even matter in the end. Okay, we're almost done with this. I'm just changing the shapes and sizes and everything. I forgot to add a group to all of these objects before I took them. So I'm just going through and selecting all of the spikes. I really should have linked these objects. Oh, okay, there we go. Give them a group 92. Oh, there's more. I forgot about these. It should be easy. These have the group as well. Since they're all in tiny little cubes and objects, we should be able to area move with very random angles and distance locked on the player for this group, moving them into place as I get them, so that these cubes kind of fly around off the bottom of the screen. I mean, that's kind of cool. I wish the spikes stuck to them. Maybe I could just put like a 30 and 30 so it's all constant instead of being random, just so the spikes stick to the blocks like this. I wasn't going to use this trigger in this video, but it's an hour in at this point. That's crazy to say. But these objects are going to guaranteed scale down with a plus or minus 0.25, just on the same settings as the move. But I've touch triggered it, just making sure that it doesn't bug up with start pause issues. I really like how this looks. The layering is kind of off and the positions are a bit weird, so I might increase the length of this to like 200, just so it's well into moving before it ever gets to the screen. This is cleaner. This is exactly what I was envisioning. This ship section should feel super floaty now, so we have a lot of our structures just in straight away. We're gonna make spikes and we're gonna make little slope designs and stuff, but yeah, we're making good progress now. I'm finally gonna turn off the background effect. That took me an hour to do, just so the particles in the ship are all gone, the little orange floating ones. Okay, now I'm gonna make some cool details using these blocks with no groups. Making an arrow here. Should be pretty easy to do if we just make it a bit more pointy, a little bit longer. We can make bundles of them with different sizes. I know we're using 62 objects to do this, but it should be fine. There we go, 96 as well. 94, we make it 1 second and we move it a little bit on the X and the Y. We vary it per layer, 95 and 96. We can set one of them to be 4 and 4, and then one of them to be 3 and 3. Then after that, we can just start moving them back the other way with negatives on each side. And then we can just loop all of these triggers. There we go, that looks good. Just gonna rotate these and scale them down a fit. These shouldn't get static because of the movements that I put on them, so we should be able to freely move them here. This is clean. I really like this. This is good detail. Oh my gosh, I used 2,000 objects on these. That's so much of the level. This area move I'm placing is gonna be on the X and Y position of the player. I'm gonna put the move distance as minus 20 on a 90-degree angle. This should work. Oh, nope. We got the movement the wrong way around. Classic Wulzy. I love how the arrows split up and you can see the layers in them. Just needs to be a little bit longer, and then we're going to do pretty much the exact same thing on an area rotate for this exact same group. X and Y, player 1, 43, and then we're just going to make the length like 100. Ease it out. Let's go. Oh, we should probably make this one touch triggered. Apparently these break too. The rotate is cool because you get slightly different shapes out of them. I like that. Let's see if we can use the object color on some particles. We'll make this a radius based effect and then just make it so we have a ring around the outside on all angles. I think I'm literally just going to put glow that fades in and off. Scale up and then copy paste and slightly scale down just so we get a few different layers here. I want this to be a better circle. Come on. Let's just put more particles in and calculate. This is a good circle object. object. We use this area scale, group 92. We might be able to copy paste, put this on the layer above, warp down, and then use blue blending. I like this idea. We should be able to get a ring on the inside of these particles that makes them look pretty cool. Yeah, you see down there? Make another version where it spreads out closer to the inside. I'll be able to put this on top of the saw blades too. Okay, these look great. I'm a big fan of them. Thinking of just using some pixel objects here, using black and black blending. Wrong way around. Lol. Black blending and black, I guess. Hide these blocks. Simple as that. Copy, paste, scale down, make a layer. We could just flip that and put it on the top. Should be good. These blocks in the center. And we can probably just use these objects slightly scaled down to like 0.95 on black and just replace these slopes with them. Then we can just place regular corner pieces right here. Oh my gosh, we gotta take off those particles from moving on top of the saw blades. That's embarrassing. Guys, we're doing the classic night before Wulzy Wednesday panic right now. Try and do some electricity here on double black that's gonna attach to the sides. I wonder if I can use a waterfall object. Maybe if I slow it down a little bit, use the speed, make it black on the base and gray on the detail, then I might be able to put a layer on top. So T1, that's 8 and 8, that gray blending, just getting some mileage out of that color channel, just with some different speed. Yeah, if I scale that down in size, I might be able to put a layer underneath just in black so it has an outline. Then maybe I can put a 10 size strip that takes this pattern, like boom, there we go. Ooh, oh, that actually looks good without the layer on top. Okay, yeah, we'll do this. And we could probably just layer this block up with some glow on the bottom like this. Oh my gosh, there's a slight overlap. Let's see if this looks bad in game. I really hope it doesn't. I think that looks... Well, I deleted the blocks. Do I add a pulse for that background block? Number 9? Could probably just choose one of these like number 2. Yeah, because the brick will then pulse at the same time. Then we can have a slight increase for this base block. I like that. Hoping that I can just paste the state onto some pulsing blocks. I have decided that I'm going to be copy pasting this force block around with me, putting it on a group 104, just to make sure everyone's in the correct place using force blocks. Like making sure we hit pads this way, right? We can also flip this around and then flip the bricks to be the correct direction. You can also put saves like this down here. So if you fall, you get bumped up into the correct spot here. Probably move this down just so if you jump normally, you don't get in this path of the force block. See, look, we're going to be able to fall. Oh my goodness. Okay, I put 20 force just to be safe, but that was too safe. I forgot I had 10 times force as the base. Oh my goodness, that's still too big? What? It's going to take a lot of playtesting, but anything for that 2-star, bro. Oh my, come on, bro. Here we go. Nice, we survived. Awesome. I'm gonna make it so you can survive this. Boom. Oh my gosh, I'm cooking right now. There we go. This is gonna be my secret to getting the 2-star. Should be able to do very little here and survive. Like right now, we should be able to get boosted onto the block. Nice. I wanted to use that group 104 to do a quick area move that's just going to move them into place real quick. Should be really simple to achieve. We just invert it based on the X, just so it stops moving before we get there. Just ignore that the background's messed up, but you'll see that the streams are kind of moving into place. We need to make the length so much longer, but yeah, we're pretty much good there already. And we can just make arrows using the exact same layers as what's in the blocks here. Not that big. Oh my goodness. Taking the blue glow as well, warping down, pasting. Awesome. Same group 104, and a second arrow can be warped inwards. Oh, that looks better on the other side. I can maybe just move it a little bit further in. Yeah, and another layer. Boom, got it. I like these arrows. These arrows are really cool. Probably do some really simple stuff by scaling up one of these objects to this size. Let's give this group 105 that we can go inwards to 106, just so there's 2 layers here. And we could do a layer in between that's going to be on the layer above T1, which is going to be light blue. I should probably make all of these above everything in the level, to be honest. So T3, T4. What if I could just make multiple rings just by overlapping them? Oh my gosh. Slightly messy, but it's just because there's no layer in between. That's fine. Oh, these look really good. Wow! Okay, let's do like a 30-second rotation. Starting with 105, we can rotate it 6 times around. Then the next layer, 106, can go 8 times, and the final layer can go 10. Like this. There we go. Now we have rotating layers. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. Ignore that the background keeps breaking. I don't know why it does that in playtest, but hey. Can I scale this thing up and put it in the back? That might look good. It's a little bit crusty. Let's just move this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of 5 blocks underneath, meaning to transition on, we can put 108 upwards of 250 on an ease in out. Let's just give this like a 4-second transition. If I put it over here, then I can lock it onto the camera on the X. Let's see if this works. We should have a ring that appears in the background. Doesn't have much color to it, but it's there, and it looks sick. It matches the rest of the level. This looks awesome. I'm gonna make a color loop for that light blue, though, because I'm using it a lot in this part against gray, and we use a lot of green in this section. So let's change that color, which I believe is 16? Yeah, over on a 1 second to green. I can go back to blue on a 1.2, and then after that, I can fade it to a super green on like a 0.6, and just loop these 3 triggers. So when I look through this part, it's going to green and then back to blue. It just looks cool, right? Okay, let's check this part out in normal mode. I think I did a really good job decorating it so far. I love the rings. Those are my favorite details. I don't know how I'm gonna make this sight readable. I think I failed making a 2-star. I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of atrocious. Oh my gosh. Dude, this move trigger still had 250 in it. Oh my gosh. I'm instead gonna just mod this on the camera, like 0.75. This should hopefully be more on screen. I did notice it was quite high up the screen. Okay, that looks a lot better, thankfully. It gets covered up very quickly, though, by this next background, which looks so sick, man. I feel like this level is done beyond this point. It's just the beginning that needs a slight bit of extra work. Just warping some saw blades in the background with low opacity. I'm gonna try moving them to the left as we're going through. It doesn't actually look that bad, you know? This could actually be the thing that was missing. The opacity is literally like 0.04 and the saw blades just go up in a row. On all of the orbs in the level, I'm going to place this giant star object on white blending, if I have that. I do. Color channel number 5. It's going to be on a group 113, which is going to have a big area scale at the very beginning on touch trigger that scales it from pretty much 0. It'll start scaling down and then scale up as I get there, so it goes back to normal. And I want to do something similar with an area fade that's going to fade it on as I'm getting there. Forgot to put the group 113 in both of these, so we've done that now. Then we can area rotate with a touch trigger enabled. That's going to rotate it like a guaranteed 360, but it's going to go plus or minus 180. That's going to be a much longer length. Same settings as before. So now if you pay attention to this yellow orb, there should be a sparkle that gets bigger and rotates as we get closer. Yeah, like that. We could probably do multiple as well, just like this. Basically just trying to draw attention to the orbs and stuff using sparkles like that. Yeah, it should be super simple, and I can just use it for the entire level pretty much. I think B1's some good layering because it'll go over the top of blocks. It just looks nice, dude. Oh, we have to make these huge for these objects, of course. Okay, so we should actually be done with this level now. One thing I did want to do, by the way, is change the area fade. It's somewhere here. I don't remember where I put it. I used it to fade the portals on. It's either 53 or 55. I think it's 55 because look, there's a rotate 53 here. There it is. I found it. Area fade 55. I want to increase the length of it because it was making some of the stuff invisible. Oh. Oh. You see, area triggers are just so busted, man. I just wanted to fix some of these objects still appearing here before I showcase. This is my new level. Please rate 2-star. It's a very creative name. I know. I don't know if this is gonna get 2-star. If it doesn't, then I've failed the video, and I don't know if I'll try again because this was crazy. I'll not do some stupid moving gimmicks and stuff. This level looks so much different to my other levels because I just rolled with the punches. Oh my goodness, dude. It's crazy. I don't think it's gonna get rated 2-star because of all these movements and stuff. I kind of failed to justify them, but it's very, very baby-proofed here. You can just kind of float through with those little jet streams. I think it's a really creative way to nerf the level into being 2-star. And just make it a little bit easier on that front. I actually really like the direction I took this level in. I like the space ideas. I like the big scaled up glowy neon style with the bricks. And I like this ending. I don't know. I've never really seen much like this. And I figured it would be smart to put something at the end of a 2-star that you can't die to, but still takes effort to play like this. Like there's no obstacles, but you have a nice fun challenge to get all of the coins. I'm fumbling pretty bad right now. Just gotta wait until we move a little bit closer before I can grab the rest of the coins. Come on. No! Oh, I gotta wait until the next rotation inwards. That sucks, dude. Oh, all of my bad creation stuff is being exposed. But yeah, we have the sound effect fade in. Didn't make an end screen because I couldn't figure out how to make the text stay on screen here. But we have the ending, which looks pretty anyway. I don't know. It's its own sequence. That's Please Rate 2-star by Wulzy. Dude, Wulzy Wednesday movie. Thank you so much for watching, and to Waf for editing the first half. This video would not have been possible without Waf. Check the links in the description, leave a like and subscribe, and have a good day.